We're gonna make a shallot gravy. I have chicken stock that I made the other night. I posted a shitty video of that. My camera kept tapping out on me. So the video is kind of crappy, but you get the point of it if you watch it. It's really not hard to make chicken stock. Probably one of the first things that were ever cooked is a stock. You know, you add meat, water on, you put it on a fire, and you got stock. So we have our shallots cut up like that. We're going to put them in this pan. Butter. We're going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter over here. Get that warm and sweat those shallots, kind of break them down a little bit. And put the rest of our butter in this pan right here and melt it. I'm going to turn this over here down to low. I'm not going to add any garlic because I want to just bring out the shallots. You could add some onion to it if you want. But my chicken stock already has garlic in it. So there's going to be maybe more than I would even like in that. Turn this down to low over here. The butter's about halfway melted. It already smells awesome. It smells like a gourmet kitchen already. Butter and shallots, I mean, I guess it is a gourmet kitchen at this point, but we've got our flour. We don't want to overcook these. We want to cook them about halfway. So we're going to keep an eye on them. close to where we want those to be. Just kind of cooking the red out of them. This is going to be a cream gravy, so you don't want it to be too colorful. The chicken stock I could use or not use. I may just go with milk. I'm not sure yet. I got them both out just in case. I may go half and half. I don't even know what I'm going to put this on. I could eat this shit on bread though. Just, I'm a fan of gravy. Now, I got this turned off over here. I may cook it for another minute. And this is on high right now, but this is a big, thick, heavy pan. This is on low. And now I am going to kill the heat on it because those are soft and not purple anymore. So I'm going to make our roux. And usually I make way more gravy than I need. That's why I said I can just eat it on bread. Most chefs will cook, you know, a 5-course meal and then eat bread or cereal or... We're kind of weird people. We cook to show off. I'm not gonna make it like Gordon Ramsay pretentious up in this motherfucker. We cook to show off. We don't cook because we necessarily like the shit we make. Don't get me wrong, we do like it. I'm gonna reduce this heat to low. But a real chef enjoys the ingredients more than the finished product, I believe. We're gonna add that. We're gonna keep browning this roux. Gonna turn that heat down to low now. You gotta keep moving this shit around if you got the heat up too high. Which, like I said, this pan's kind of thick, so it'll take a while to, you know, cool down. Even though I turned it down to low, the pan's still on high for a minute. So I'm gonna brown that. So far this is just flour, butter, and shallots. And since I've started the video, I have figured out how I'm going to do it, because we like to cook in layers. I like to cook in layers. I want layers of flavor. I was having some thoughts about the chicken stock. I am going to use it, but not a whole lot of it. And I'm only going to use it in this first step when I add liquid. I'm going to flavor this roux with chicken stock, and then I'm going to start adding creamy stuff. Milk, heavy whipping cream. It's already got butter. do this in a skillet, you can use a metal spoon, a whisk, whatever, and you'll scratch your pan up if you use a pan like this. So it's a little different. This is called skillet gravy in the South. They don't have this in the East. You can't find it without, well, they have it, but it's always got sausage in it, and that's just not traditional at all to the South. That's some northern shit that they took over to the East. So I'm going to turn this up to medium-low. The pan's starting to cool down now. It's starting to bubble less. So I want it to keep bubbling just like it is, because we got a ton of butter in there. That's a whole, well, it's over 3/4 of a stick of butter. I think there was only 1 tablespoon missing off of that stick, which means I need to go get more because that was all I had. But I need to use up this milk and this whipping cream I've got. I ran out of Life cereal, so I don't have any use for this milk. But right now we're just cooking that shallot flavor into our roux. And hope our video don't cut off. I know some of my videos may be kind of long because I don't edit them usually. I have had to edit a few because my camera fucking up, but for the most part, I mean, I want you to see the whole process. And if you can't watch the whole process, then you probably can't do the whole process either. Because I rewatch my videos, and I have plenty of time to watch the process over again to see what I might do different next time. If you don't have time, you don't have time. I get it. But that's why you need to go out to eat instead of trying to cook. Now this is starting to thicken up quite a bit. We still got another couple minutes of cooking some of that moisture out of the butter. But you see it's even now. I can clump it back up if I want, but I can also lay it out and it'll go flat and make itself even. It'll level out. And you'll kind of smell when it's ready to add liquid. I'm starting to smell it now. It's not quite ready yet though. Sorry, that song's getting on my fucking nerves. Sound like a fucking new Ministry song. I liked when he first started doing that, when Al Jurgensen's first started making the Middle Eastern sound in his music. But only the first time he did it. When he kept doing it, it got really annoying. I could still listen to Khyber Pass over and over again, but that's because I've been over in the Khyber Pass. I don't know, it touches me somehow, even though he's a commie. Al Jurgensen was born in Cuba. If I would have known that when I was younger, I never would have listened to Ministry. And that doesn't affect the music that I did like by them, by knowing that now. I still like the old stuff. But that overproduced new shit is for the birds. This is much nicer. Now what we're going to do is add some chicken stock. Just about that much. Man, that smells good. It's got garlic and onions, and you see how that's turning into a dough? There are no measurements for this. It all depends on you, your heat, your pan, what type of flour you're using, how much butter you put in it. And this shit right here would be just good poured over biscuits once it's done. It's not done yet, but we added chicken stock to our flour roux. For one level of flavor. And then we got our creamy milk, you know, it's whole milk. We're gonna cook it out. It's starting to look like mashed potatoes. Let that get warm. Might need to let it up underneath your blob there. So it can get warm. And we don't want to burn our cream, so we're not going to add that yet. But we are going to add a little more of that. Just for flavor. And I hate using this thing, but I need black pepper in here and I need to go buy more. But I don't like these because of that plastic. If you start reading about nanoplastics, you'll quit drinking bottled water. And you'll probably quit using these things. People that drink bottled water consume about a credit card worth of plastic a month. And I'm sure that plastic grinder is worse. than the nanoparticles. You're getting actual particles off of that grinder more than likely. I would assume. I'm not a rocket surgeon, but I would assume you probably get quite a bit of plastic out, you know, as a byproduct of that pepper grinder. But this gravy is starting to look right. I could serve it just like this once I mix all this liquid in. But I'm not done yet. I'm gonna make love to it. I'm gonna add some cream now. Now, if I put a shitload of onions and shallots in here, it would be called creamed onions or creamed shallots. I see some little pieces of thyme and stuff floating around from the chicken stock in it, and that's fine. They have no flavor left in them as a whole, but it's all been imparted into the stock by now, you know. But it's not going to hurt anything to have a little texture and color. That's what art is. I can't stand art with no texture. I don't think it's actually art if it has no texture. When I painted, they called me a paint waster. That's what other artists called me, and they were just jealous because they couldn't afford the fucking paint that I could. But I got some tricks on that, you know. I wasn't using what they thought I was using, and I'll never tell what I was using. I've only told a couple people ever, and they didn't use the info, so I'm good. Now, we're just going to shake a little bit more flour, not much. That's for a different level, a different layer. You don't want to overwhelm your roux with this bullshit that hasn't been toasted in butter. It's going to thicken up our cream though. And it will add a little bit of, it'll infuse with the cream and add it, you know, actually retain the cream, I guess is what you would say. Retain the flavor of the cream. That's basically the only reason we put that in there. And we're going to add a little more stock. And make sure we get it up under there. And I really don't know why I'm making this except just to make a video and to use up the milk I had, which is gone now. So I'm not going to add any more flour because I have no more milk. I do have plenty of cream left, which is still going to go in here. But we're going to infuse that dry flour we added with that last cream I added and this new chicken stock, because you're building this just like you're building anything else in blocks. You know, one grain of sand can be a building block. There's islands in Dubai that are man-made that they built by, you know, building up sand. Man-made islands that weren't there when I was there. And they look hella cool. I mean, I've seen the pictures. But one day I was thinking, you know, about the sand. It's like, wow. I mean, I know they started off with rocks and probably some kind of mesh and all sorts of shit. Like, but theoretically, each grain of sand is a building block. And this gravy is pretty much done. This is what I want it to look like right here. And it smells amazing. I mean, you can't really buy this shit, you know. You can't go to the store and get it, is what I'm saying. You could go have a chef in a steakhouse make it for you or something, but I just showed you how to make it yourself. And I showed you how to make all the ingredients yourself before that. So there's no reason to go pay somebody to make that for you. That chicken stock smells so good that I just keep adding it. I know I was going to focus the shallots, you know, put the spotlight on them, but like I said, I may change my mind, and I did. Cooking gourmet is all about how you feel at the time. Just like a piece of artwork. I sold hundreds of pieces of artwork, and never once did I know what the fuck I was going to paint when I started. I always thought I knew what I was going to paint. I'm not going to lie about that. I always thought, okay, I'm going to paint this, and it would come out something totally different, and then it was gone, sold. So, I mean, I didn't do anything wrong by doing it that way. It's just my thoughts on it didn't matter. It was feeling, and you got to feel this out. And that's done. I'm gonna mix this together right here. I'm gonna whisk this. I'm gonna turn it all the way down to as low as it'll go right now. It's been on medium low, and I'm gonna make sure this cream's whipped in here. And that's your gravy. That's how to make homemade gravy. And you can make it out. I could have made jalapeno gravy. I've got sweet onions, red jalapenos. I've got all kinds of things I could have used to make this gravy. But I wanted to feature that shallot. So it was a big, pretty shallot. There's a double decker. It had 2 parts to it. So that's what I used. And this shit right here is gonna, I haven't even tasted it. It probably needs salt. But nutmeg. Can't be gourmet without that. Now that's a gourmet gravy, just like they would teach you how to make in culinary school. Like I said, it's on low, as low as it'll go right now, so it's not gonna start clumping up or sticking or anything. And it's best to serve it like this, but you can always put this shit in the fridge and reheat it Just add a little more of the stock to it over here. If it's clumped up, and whip it out again, and it'll be fine. But it's best to serve it right now, just like this. The only clumps it has are little pieces of shallot, which I'm sure are just absolutely bursting with flavor. That was a really nice shallot. But that's the end of that one. Y'all have a good one.